Right now, in this very moment, someone you have not stopped thinking about is doing something that involves you. They may not say it out loud. They may not even fully understand it themselves yet. But somewhere, quietly, they are moving toward you. If your heart just skipped a little reading that, you already know this message is for you. Before we go any further, drop "I am ready" in the comments below. It only takes a second, and it tells the universe you are open to receiving this message. Some of you will feel a little shift the moment you type it. Let's begin. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and feel the soft, warm energy gathering around you right now. I am here to bring you a message that has been carried gently through the higher realms. A message about your soulmate that may leave you speechless. The universe has been working behind the scenes in ways your mind cannot fully grasp, weaving events together with quiet, loving precision. And this message has been cleared for you to hear it now. Your soulmate, that person whose soul was shaped to fit yours, has been acting in secret. Right now, while you go about your day, unseen by your eyes but seen clearly by the unseen world, this person is taking steps that are slowly, surely leading toward your reunion. These steps are hidden from you for now, but they are already sending ripples through the spiritual space around you, gently pulling your two paths closer together with every day that passes. Have you felt it? That strange little flutter in your chest when you wake up too early. That sudden wave of emotion that rises out of nowhere during a quiet afternoon. These are not random. These are the echoes of your soulmate's hidden movements, their energy reaching across distance and time to brush against your spirit. The unseen helpers who watch over you have been observing these quiet efforts with real joy. Dear soul, pause for a moment. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Martin for sowing a seed for Soulmate through your Ko-Fi super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you every step of your journey. Thank you for your beautiful support. Let's know what angels want us to know. We have watched your soulmate go through a season of inner work. Quiet spiritual searching, emotional healing, and small practical changes, all happening without your knowledge, all preparing the ground for the moment you finally come together. This gentle unfolding is happening on the universe's own perfect schedule. And what I share with you today will help you understand just how much is truly happening beneath the surface. Here is what makes this so powerful. Your soulmate is not simply sitting back and waiting for fate to do all the work. They are quietly helping to build it. Their deeper self already senses your connection, even if their everyday thinking mind hasn't caught up yet. That quiet inner knowing is nudging them towards certain choices, certain changes, certain little shifts that are all lining up with the bigger picture of your future together. Take a breath and open your heart, because what comes next may change the way you see the last few months of your life. Those strange coincidences, those dreams that felt far too real to be nothing, those flashes of intuition you couldn't explain. All of it connects back to this quiet journey your soulmate has already begun. This message is arriving now because you are finally ready to hear it, ready for it to lift you up rather than overwhelm you. Trust that everything shared here comes from a place of warmth and care, meant only for your good. Take one more slow breath, beloved one, and let your heart open just a little wider. We are about to pull back the curtain and show you the first glimpse of what your soulmate has quietly been doing. And I promise you, once you see it, the way you understand your own journey toward love will never feel the same again. The first thing you need to know is that your soulmate has been going through a deep and very private kind of soul searching. In the quiet hours, when most of the world is asleep, this person has been sitting with hard questions, looking honestly at their own heart, and feeling pulled toward something they can't quite name yet. That pull you're sensing in the space between you two, that is the quiet call of a connection your souls already agreed to long ago, slowly waking up inside them. Your soulmate has been having unusual dreams lately, vivid and emotional, the kind that linger long after waking up. In these dreams, there's a presence, a familiar warmth they can't place but somehow feel close to. These aren't ordinary dreams. Think of them as gentle messages, carefully timed to prepare their inner mind for the moment recognition finally clicks into place when your paths cross in real life. The helpers who watch over both of you have seen your soulmate doing things that look random on the surface but are actually part of a bigger, quieter plan. Maybe they've suddenly felt the urge to close out old relationships, to clear up unfinished emotional business, or to heal something from their family history. None of it seems related to you directly, but each piece is a small stepping stone on the path that leads toward your union. They may have unexpectedly moved, changed jobs, or drifted toward new friendships, guided by a quiet inner nudge they can't fully explain but feel too strongly to ignore. Now notice what's been happening in your own life too. Repeating numbers, songs that seem to find you at just the right moment, chance run-ins that leave you thinking for hours after. These aren't just coincidences. Think of them as little markers, small cosmic hints that your soulmate's quiet efforts are creating waves that reach all the way to you. When you glance at the clock and see 11:11, when a certain song makes your chest tighten with feeling, when a butterfly lingers a little too long nearby, these are small confirmations that your soulmate's energy is syncing with yours, even from far away. Here's something remarkable. Your soulmate has been feeling bursts of joy and quiet excitement that seem to come from nowhere at all. In those small, unexplainable moments, their soul is sensing what's coming, celebrating something their everyday mind hasn't caught up to yet. Their deeper self feels the lightness while their conscious mind just wonders where this new hopeful feeling came from. The unseen guides watching over your soulmate have also noticed them working hard on themselves lately. Not out of feeling like they're not enough, but from a quiet inner knowing that they want to grow into their best self before this connection fully arrives. They may have suddenly picked up new habits, meditation, quiet reflection, healthier routines, or found themselves drawn to teachings and ideas that speak straight to their soul's own journey toward you. Their guides have been quietly working alongside them too, nudging them gently toward choices that support the highest good for both of you. Every step they take toward becoming more truly themselves is, at the same time, a step closer to you, because your truest selves were always meant to recognize one another. And this, beloved soul, is only the beginning of what your soulmate has been quietly doing. Their actions may be hidden from your eyes for now, but they are fully seen and celebrated in the spiritual space around you, part of a beautiful story of love slowly coming into the light. If this message is speaking to your heart, take a moment to leave a comment below and share how it feels to hear this. Your energy and your presence here matter more than you know, and it helps keep this space full of love and hope growing for everyone who needs it. Now let's continue with what matters most. Precious soul, as these truths settle into you, feel the connection between you and your soulmate growing stronger. Even as you read these words, the invisible thread tying your souls together is tightening, glowing brighter. The simple act of you receiving this message is stirring something in your soulmate too, even if they mistake that feeling for something else entirely. Lately, Your soulmate has been feeling things more intensely. A longing they can't explain, sudden tears out of nowhere, waves of joy that seem to have no clear source. These emotions are actually your souls speaking to each other across the distance, your energies reaching for one another even while your bodies remain apart. The space between you keeps growing thinner with each passing day. In the quiet moments, your soulmate has heard something like a whisper deep inside, something calling a part of them they don't fully understand yet but can feel all the same. They may not have the words for it, but they feel the pull. They find themselves drawn to certain places, objects, or experiences that somehow carry a trace of your energy. Maybe it's a place you'll one day meet, a hobby you'll come to share, or a song that speaks to both your hearts. These pulls aren't random. They're your souls finding each other little by little. Your souls have quietly been meeting in the dream world, dancing, talking, connecting in ways your waking minds can't remember, but your hearts somehow still know. These meetings, though usually forgotten by morning, leave behind a quiet familiarity. So when you do meet in real life, your souls will already feel like they're catching up with an old friend, even while your conscious minds are still working out how. Your soulmate has also been receiving little sparks of inspiration lately. New ideas, fresh perspectives, sudden realizations, all quietly preparing them for the exchange of wisdom that will come when your paths finally cross. Every bit of growth they experience is, in some small way, preparing them to recognize and appreciate the light you carry. Their growth is timed to meet yours, creating the kind of balance that makes a real connection possible. There's something else happening too. Your soulmate's inner energy has been slowly adjusting, like an instrument being tuned to match a particular note. This might show up in their life as stretches of quiet, deep reflection, or even big life changes that feel hard in the moment but are actually meaningful turning points. Each challenge they move through raises them a little higher, bringing them closer to the kind of steady, open love that can hold a real connection. The universe has also been placing certain people in your soulmate's path. Teachers, mentors, even difficult people, each one showing up to spark exactly the kind of growth needed before your paths meet. Some of these moments are brief, others leave a deeper mark, but all of them are quietly preparing your soulmate for what's ahead. Most powerfully, your soulmate has had moments of a strange, sudden certainty. A feeling that something wonderful is coming, that they are being led towards someone who will change everything. In these small flashes of clarity, their soul recognizes what's unfolding, even while their mind tries to make sense of this quiet hope they can't quite explain. Feel the weight of all this settling gently into you, beloved one. Your soulmate's quiet efforts are creating ripples that are slowly reshaping both your paths. Every hidden step is meaningful. Every quiet preparation is an act of care that goes beyond what the eyes can see. What was once separate is beginning to come together. What was hidden is slowly coming into the light. What was meant to be is moving closer to becoming real. Cherished soul, now it's time to go even deeper into the quiet plan guiding your soulmate's hidden actions. What's happening here goes beyond simple chance or ordinary planning. It feels more like a beautifully choreographed dance, one designed not only to support your own growth, but to add something meaningful to the world around you too. Your soulmate has recently felt pulled toward new ideas, philosophies, or ways of healing that seem to come out of nowhere. These pulls aren't random at all. Think of them as carefully timed lessons, preparing them for the exchange of understanding that will happen when you finally come together. The exact things they're learning now are shaping up to perfectly complement what you already know, creating something whole once your paths meet. Before we continue, dear soul, today is August 8th, the powerful 8:8 Lions Gate portal. You may be wondering, what is the Lion's Gate portal? In spiritual communities, 8:8 is often viewed as a symbolic time of abundance, spiritual awakening, inner strength, transformation, and new beginnings. The number 8 is traditionally associated with abundance, balance, and personal power, while the Lion's Gate is connected with Leo season and the rising of Sirius. And if you are listening today because your heart is calling for your soulmate, you can use this moment to pause, set a loving intention, release fear and doubt, and place your faith in divine timing. Some people also choose to sow a symbolic seed of faith on days like this, an expression of their prayer, gratitude, and intention for their soulmate's happiness, healing, protection, and divine reunion. If you feel guided to sow your seed today, you can do so through our Ko-Fi link, which I've shared in the pinned comment and in the video description. Your seed is not a promise of instant manifestation. Think of it as a beautiful symbol of your faith, prayer, and intention as you trust God to guide your soulmate journey according to His perfect timing. So, before we continue with today's message, take a deep breath, open your heart, and say quietly within yourself, I release fear, I choose love, I trust divine timing. My soulmate journey is in God's hands. Let's continue with divine message. If you could see the bigger picture the way the unseen world does, you'd notice a beautiful, tangled web of events quietly connecting your two lives. A conversation with a stranger, a book that caught their attention out of nowhere, a show they felt strangely drawn to watch. Each of these small moments is a single thread being woven carefully, helping the timing of your meeting line up just right. Something else remarkable has been happening too. Your soulmate has been quietly healing old wounds, emotional patterns, and limiting beliefs that once stood in the way of real, deep love. This healing may show up as sudden insight, an emotional release, or a dream that stays with them for days. Old walls are coming down, making space in their heart for the kind of love your connection is capable of holding. There is something bigger connecting you two as well, a shared sense of purpose that reaches beyond romance and into something that could genuinely help others. Your soulmate has been quietly stirred toward new interests and passions that line up with this bigger purpose. Maybe they've suddenly cared more about the environment, healing work, creative expression, or teaching, areas that echo the kind of meaningful work you two might one day do side by side. The universe has also been quietly planting seeds of recognition inside your soulmate's mind. Small flashes of your energy, fleeting glimpses of a life shared together, a quiet sense of the qualities that define you. These seeds are slowly taking root, so that when the moment finally comes, recognition will feel instant and unmistakable. Even your soulmate's sense of time seems to be shifting, life speeding up in some areas while other plans quietly stall out. This isn't random either. It's the gentle rearranging of circumstances to make sure your paths cross at exactly the right moment, when you're both truly ready for what this connection will bring. These glimpses are only a small taste of everything quietly unfolding. Trust that every hidden step your soulmate takes is bringing you both one step closer to the beautiful story you're meant to share. Beloved one, love like this rarely arrives without its own quiet challenges. And it's time to talk honestly about the obstacles your soulmate has been facing behind the scenes. These trials aren't meant to keep you apart. They're meant to make your connection stronger, deeper, and built to last. Think of them not as punishment, but as a kind of quiet refining, burning away whatever doesn't belong in the space you'll one day share. Your soulmate has likely gone through some rocky moments in their relationships lately. Maybe friendships that quietly faded, conflicts that revealed hard truths, or a natural pulling away from people and energy that no longer serve them well. As painful as these shifts can feel, they're clearing space, making room in their life for you to eventually arrive. There may have been stretches when your soulmate felt truly alone, moving through what some call a dark night of the soul, a period of deep questioning about love and whether they even deserve it. As hard as these seasons are, they've been quietly building inner strength, the kind of steady faith and resilience needed to hold a connection as meaningful as this one. Their outer life may have shifted too, changes in work, home, or finances that felt disruptive at the time, but were actually clearing the way for something better. Each shift, even the uncomfortable ones, has been slowly aligning them with the exact place and mindset needed for your paths to finally cross. What looked like chaos was actually quiet order working behind the scenes. Your soulmate has also likely been letting go of old patterns, ones that kept repeating in different forms until the lesson behind them finally sank in. This is deep, often invisible work, the kind that clears out anything that might have gotten in the way of your connection later on. Maybe hardest of all, your soulmate has been going through a real shift in who they are, letting go of old versions of themselves and stepping into something more honest and whole. This transformation, even though no one else can see it happening, reflects their heart's quiet commitment to meeting you as their truest, most real self. Through all of this, they haven't been alone. Kind words from strangers at just the right moment. A wave of unexpected peace during meditation. A chance meeting that restored their hope. A dream that reminded them not to give up. Every challenge they've faced has come with exactly the support needed to get through it. What felt like delay was actually careful timing, making sure that when you do come together, you'll both be ready for something this meaningful. Trust in this process, beloved one. Every challenge your soulmate has quietly moved through has been shaping them into someone who fits perfectly alongside you, building a stronger foundation for whatever comes next. You, too, may have been moving through your own quiet season of change lately. Maybe a relationship that ended taught you something you needed to know. Maybe a job change or a move shook things up more than you expected. Maybe you've simply felt more tired, more reflective, more aware of what truly matters to you. None of this has been wasted time. Every bit of it has been shaping you into someone ready to receive a connection as real as this one. Just as your soulmate has been quietly working on themselves, you have been doing the same, even on the days it didn't feel like progress. It's worth remembering that healing rarely moves in a straight line. Some weeks feel light and hopeful. Others feel heavy, uncertain, even discouraging. That's simply part of being human, and it doesn't mean you've fallen behind or lost your way. Growth often looks messy up close and only makes sense when you look back at how far you've actually come. Be gentle with yourself through the harder stretches. They are just as much a part of this story as the joyful ones. Now it's time to talk about the signs, the small, real-world confirmations that all of this is actually happening and moving quickly. Watch closely for these signals in the days ahead, because they're often the clearest proof that what's been shared here rings true. Those repeating numbers you keep noticing, 1111, 222, 333, or any pattern that catches your eye, think of them as gentle nudges confirming that your soulmate's energy is reaching toward you. Every time you spot one, know that in that exact moment your soulmate is likely thinking, feeling, or doing something connected to your future together. These aren't random. They're small reminders that something meaningful is moving in the background. Your dreams may become more vivid soon too, as the space between your two energies keeps growing thinner. Pay close attention to faces, places, conversations, or feelings that show up while you sleep. Keep a small notebook by your bed if you can, because these dream moments often carry small clues about what's unfolding. You may also start noticing physical sensations that feel oddly specific. Sudden warmth in your chest, a tingle up your spine or across your scalp, a flush in your cheeks, the feeling of being hugged even when no one's there. These small moments often show up right when your soulmate is doing something that deepens their connection to you, even from far away. Watch, too, for symbols that seem to follow you. Feathers showing up in odd places. The same animal crossing your path more than once. Flowers blooming out of season. Little patterns that feel too specific to be nothing. These are simple, physical reminders that something invisible is slowly becoming real. You might also notice something interesting, thinking about love or connection and then almost immediately running into something that echoes that exact thought, in a conversation, a book, a sign, or a song. These little moments of alignment are gentle nudges confirming that your inner sense of this connection is right on track. Above all, you may feel sudden waves of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere, joy, calm, or a deep sense of love. These moments often line up with times when your soulmate's energy is reaching toward yours, even if neither of you fully realizes it in the moment. You may also meet certain people along the way who say exactly what you need to hear, often without realizing how meaningful their words are to you. Pay attention to these small moments. They tend to show up right when you need a little reassurance that you're on the right path. All of these signs tend to grow stronger and more frequent as the timing of your union gets closer. What once felt distant starts to feel closer, more real, more present in your everyday life. Trust these little signs, beloved soul. They're gentle guideposts leading you toward one of the most meaningful chapters of your life. The moment when everything hidden becomes clear and two hearts finally recognize what's been quietly building between them all along. You might also start to notice a quiet shift in your own daily rhythm. Maybe you feel a pull to spend more time outside, to sit in stillness a little longer, or to slow down in a way that feels unfamiliar but welcome. This isn't random either. As the energy between you and your soulmate keeps aligning, your own body and spirit naturally start to soften, making room for something new. Trust that gentle pull. It's not asking you to force anything. It's simply asking you to be a little more present with yourself. Some of you may notice a sudden interest in things you never cared about before, a certain type of music, a certain place on the map, a certain kind of art or craft. These small pulls often carry meaning, little threads connecting you to the life that's quietly forming ahead of you. You don't have to understand them fully right now. Just notice them and let yourself follow where they feel right. Pay attention, too, to the people who show up in your life during this season. Sometimes a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger will say something so specific it stops you in your tracks. They may have no idea how much their words meant. That's often how these messages arrive, quietly, through ordinary people, carrying something that isn't quite ordinary at all. Now, for the deepest part of this message, a truth that goes beyond ordinary understanding of love and connection. Open your heart fully as we get into this. The deepest secret your soulmate has been holding, often without fully realizing it, is that on some level, they've been working with their own higher self to strengthen the quiet agreement your souls made long before this lifetime. In meditation, in dreams, in quiet moments of deep thought, they've been reaching across the space between you, strengthening a bond that exists beyond what either of you can consciously see. This kind of work happens beneath the surface of everyday awareness, yet it creates real, lasting shifts in how your story unfolds. Your soulmate may have also had strange flashes of memory lately, moments that feel like remembering something from long ago, even though it doesn't quite make sense. These flashes might show up as a strong, unexplainable sense of knowing things about you, your likes, your fears, your gifts, things they shouldn't logically know yet somehow do. Their soul remembers what their mind hasn't caught up to yet, echoes of a connection that stretches far beyond this one lifetime. No matter how far apart you are, whether across town or across the world, your soulmate has been unconsciously building a kind of energetic bridge between you, one built from thought, quiet hope, and unspoken care. This invisible connection is slowly laying the groundwork for the moment your paths finally meet in person. Your soulmate has also been quietly inspired lately, receiving little bursts of insight and creativity that feel bigger than themselves. These moments often shape the very things, skills, ideas, connections that will one day support the life and purpose you two might build together. They may have also felt sudden urges to change plans or make unexpected decisions, shifts that feel random in the moment but are quietly steering their path in a direction that lines up more closely with yours. Small course corrections guided by something deeper than logic. Here is the most tender truth of all. On a soul level, the deepest part of you and the deepest part of your soulmate have already met, already understood one another, in ways that go beyond time and space. While your everyday lives remain separate for now, this deeper connection is quietly pressing to become real in your physical world, creating the pull you both feel towards something you can't quite name. This explains so much of what you've felt lately. The song that plays in your head right before it comes on the radio. A name that comes to your lips out of nowhere. A place that calls to you for no clear reason. None of this is random. It's the quiet result of your soulmate's inner work rippling outward, gently touching your sensitive, open heart. Hold on to this truth, beloved one. The most meaningful things your soulmate has been doing aren't loud or obvious. They're quiet, inner, soulful movements, and they are steadily bringing your story into the kind of clarity and connection that feels almost impossible to put into words. Now, let's talk about how you can meet this energy with intention of your own, because you are not just waiting for this to happen. You are helping shape it too. Start with a simple daily practice of quiet connection. Set aside a few minutes each day. Early morning or evening tend to feel especially peaceful, and simply sit with your hand over your heart. Picture a warm light extending outward from your chest, reaching gently into the world, meeting whatever is meant to meet it. This small ritual helps you consciously join in with the quiet work your soulmate has already been doing. Dear beloved soul, before we move forward, I'd like to share a gentle invitation with you. Every soulmate journey is precious in God's eyes. Sometimes, this sacred connection benefits from an extra layer of faith, love, and spiritual covering as it unfolds in divine timing. If you would like to make a meaningful gesture for your soulmate, you can sow your seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. The Ko-Fi link is waiting for you in the video description and the pinned comment. May your gift become a beautiful intention before heaven, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, remove unseen obstacles, and surround both hearts with divine light, peace, and guidance as your paths draw closer together. Scripture teaches that generosity reflects a trusting heart. Malachi 3 verse 10 reminds us of God's abundant faithfulness, while 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6 teaches that whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Every gift offered with sincere faith becomes a meaningful expression of trust in God's promises and His perfect timing. If your heart feels moved to sow this seed, thank you sincerely for supporting this ministry and these daily angel messages. May the Lord bless you abundantly, watch over your soulmate, and lead both of you into the beautiful future He has prepared. Now, let's continue with today's angel message. Pay closer attention to your dreams during this time. Keep a small notebook nearby and jot down anything you remember as soon as you wake up. Dreams often carry small clues right now, symbols, feelings, or glimpses that are worth paying attention to. This is also a good time to release what no longer serves you. Let go of old hurts, forgive where you can, and clear out emotional weight from past relationships. This isn't about rushing anything. It's about making space, the same kind of space your soulmate has quietly been creating on their end too. Try to hold on to trust, even when things feel uncertain. There may be moments that seem to contradict everything shared here. Delays, confusing signs, or emotions that feel hard to sit with. These moments aren't proof that this isn't real. They're simply part of the process, and your steady trust becomes part of what helps this all come together. Consider creating a little more openness in your physical space too. Clearing clutter, letting go of things that carry old energy, or simply making your home feel more like a place of peace. Just as importantly, work on cultivating peace and openness within yourself, filling your days with more love, more lightness, and less anxious waiting. If it feels good to you, try speaking a few gentle affirmations out loud. Something like, I am open to receiving real love. I trust the timing of my life. I welcome my person, whoever and however they come. These small, honest words can help create a quiet resonance with everything already in motion. Above all, keep growing in your own way. Just as your soulmate has been working on themselves, your own growth matters here too. Explore what expands you, what brings you joy, what helps you become more fully yourself. This kind of balance matters for any connection built to last. Stay open to the idea that love might not look exactly how you imagined. Sometimes the people who matter most enter our lives in ways we never expected, carrying qualities we didn't know we needed. Try to hold your expectations loosely and trust that what's meant for you tends to find its way. It can also help to spend a little time each week simply reflecting on your own story so far. Think about the moments that shaped you, the lessons that stuck, the small wins that quietly built your confidence. This isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about honoring how far you've come, because every bit of that growth is part of what makes you ready for what's ahead. You are not starting from zero. You are building on everything you've already learned. Try, too, to notice the good that's already present in your life right now, rather than only focusing on what still feels like it's missing. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, a friend who checks in on you, a quiet evening with nothing urgent to do. These small moments of contentment are not separate from your journey toward connection. They're part of it. A heart that already knows how to feel grateful tends to recognize good things more easily when they arrive. If you find yourself feeling impatient some days, that's completely human, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Simply notice the feeling, breathe through it, and gently return your focus to the present moment. Impatience often comes from trying to control timing that was never really ours to control in the first place. Letting go of that grip, even a little, tends to bring more ease than pushing harder ever could. As we come to the end of this message, beloved soul, I want you to know how much worth you carry, simply as you are. We've walked through a lot together today. Gentle truths meant to shine a little light on what's quietly unfolding behind the scenes of your life. As we close, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts to carry with you. What's been shared today is really just the surface of something much bigger and more beautiful, still unfolding in ways that are hard to fully see from where you stand. The quiet efforts happening in the background are already creating ripples that will keep showing up in small, real ways over time. This message reached you now because some part of you was ready to hear it, ready to gently step into this process rather than simply wait for it. Trust that when the time comes, you will know. Recognition like this rarely depends on appearances or logic. It shows up as a quiet, unmistakable feeling in your chest. A knowing your mind can't quite explain, but your heart understands completely. In the days ahead, you might notice more small synchronicities, sudden clarity, or an unexpected sense of peace, as if pieces are quietly falling into place. Let yourself welcome these moments instead of second-guessing them. Let them remind you that patience is not the same as standing still. Remember that good timing is rarely rushed. The exact moment things come together, whether that's a meeting, a realization, or simply a shift within you, tends to arrive exactly when it needs to, not sooner and not later. Every delay tends to carry its own quiet reason, even when we can't see it clearly in the moment. Carry these thoughts with you gently, like something precious tucked close to your heart. Let them offer comfort on harder days, and quiet reassurance on days when nothing seems to make sense. You've made it this far, through the ups and downs of your own story, and that alone says something about your strength and your openness to grow. If any part of this message meant something to you, consider sharing a little of that feeling in the comments below. Sometimes the smallest gesture, a kind word, a shared feeling, helps carry hope a little further to someone else who might need to hear it today. Wherever you are in your journey, know that you are supported, seen, and never truly alone in this process. Growth like this happens gently, one quiet season at a time, one small shift after another, and every step you take matters, even the ones that feel invisible right now. Dear soul, if this message meant something to you today, let it settle in gently. Let it remind you that love, real love, tends to arrive with quiet patience rather than noise. May you carry a little more light with you today. May you trust the quiet wisdom of your own heart. And may you feel, even just a little, that everything really is unfolding exactly as it should. With warmth and quiet hope, always. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.